Have you ever thought about the idea that when we give our lives to Jesus, we give our lives to Jesus, that we belong to Him now, that our lives belong to Him now? Have you thought about the idea that when you became a Christian, you gave your life into the service of a king, that we serve a king? And I want to dig into that topic a little bit today. I'm Gene Lloyd, and today I want to share with you some more about God's kingdom principles. You know, total surrender is a tough concept for a lot of believers. We like to hold on to our stuff, right? We like to hold on to things that give us comfort, things that make us feel like we're in a little bit more control of our life. But when we can understand the perspective of Jesus, when we can understand His perspective on this topic, we learn that it's a little bit easier to give that stuff up. You see, in Luke 9:23, Jesus tells us, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me." We're called as followers of Jesus to live lives of complete surrender to His will, not ours, to His purpose, to His plans, not the purpose and plans that we may want for our lives. That's what it looks like to be in total surrender and obedience to a king. 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20 tells us you are not your own. You were bought at a price, and it was an expensive price. Jesus paid the ultimate price so that we can come into the kingdom. These are ideas that, those who have come before us really understood. Abraham, who gave up everything, right? Who sacrificed his livelihood, who left his family and went to live out in the desert, not knowing where he was headed or where he was going to end up. That's an act of total surrender and obedience. Paul, Timothy, James, Peter, writers of portions of the New Testament, in many of their letters, they start out with this phrase referring to themselves as, in some translations, they say as slaves of Jesus. In other translations, it says servants. But in either way, both carry this connotation that they're in a place of complete surrender because they recognize that nothing is more important than making sure we're fully surrendered to Jesus. He's our King. We owe Him everything. He gave everything for us, and we owe Him everything. So it's not about our will or our purpose or our plans or our desires. It's about His. Because here's the reality. All of this that we see in the physical realm today eventually goes away. All of this eventually goes away, and the only thing that remains is His kingdom. And so if we're focused on His perspectives and His ideas and His desires, then we can partner with Him in a way to bring His kingdom to earth like we couldn't otherwise. We need to have His perspective in all things. There have been times where, I was thinking about something and the Lord told me, hey, that's not my perspective on this topic. And it helped me to realize I have to set this aside and focus on what His perspective is. So how do we do this practically? What's our practical application here? Well, first we have to ask God, what am I still holding on to? Is there anything I'm holding on to that I need to let go of? Is there anything I'm holding on to that's not part of your plans and purposes for my life? We need to ask Him, where do our perspectives need to change? What is my perspective on these topics, and do I need to lay that down? And we can even just ask Him, what's your perspective on this topic? I love to do that when I encounter something new. God, what's your perspective on this thing that I'm seeing right now? Because if we want to transform cultures and communities and cities and neighborhoods and people individually, we have to lay down everything. We can't afford to have anything that we're pursuing that's not in line with His goal for our lives. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please comment below on your ideas about total surrender. If you like this content, please click the like button, the subscribe button, follow us, share what we're putting out there, and I'll talk to you soon.